Swallowing elderly dementia patients is not for everyone. Call your doctor if you have unusual life-threatening children or if you like it. Permanent death can be serious.
48 minutes of dogs barking. 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 Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking.
After 10,000 years, we finally got levels on the Behringer.
Don't blame the Behringer.
I always blame Behringer. Did you know that it's a myth, but I worked with guys at Guitar Center that swears that there was a Behringer mixer that was such a direct rip-off of a Mackie mixer that if you got a certain error state on the display, it would display the Mackie logo. Honestly, this is the longest I've known anyone to own anything Behringer and have it still work.
As you just saw, I just had to restart the whole computer because it wasn't talking to it.
Well, it's because you're running Linux.
You watch your mouth.
I was in Chicago last weekend.
Yeah, you were telling me.
Division 4 ladies hockey.
Nice.
Which in some respects is like watching freshman girls basketball, but with more neck tattoos. It's not always the most fluidic game you're going to watch, but it's fun. And we supported M's friend, and she's a great person, so like it was a good time. And got to watch some pretty exciting moments, so it was, whatever. Had my first Labatt's.
Oh, okay.
Felt like a real hooligan.
Yeah.
And like honestly, you know what? I understand why that beer is popular because I know why it's possible because science.
Canada.
But like, you're kind of cold.
Yeah.
And that beer it cuts.
Yeah.
It's crisp.
It really is.
I was like, damn, okay, maybe these hosers got something.
I always thought Bud Dry was kind of Budweiser's attempt at doing a Labatt.
God, I fucking miss Bud Dry. There was only one gas station in North County that had it.
Yeah.
And it happened to be a gas station I passed on the way home from the Blockbuster I worked at. I think I was probably like the only person that wasn't like 40 that was, now I'm almost 40, but at the time I was in my 20s. I was the only person probably buying Bud Dry unironically from that gas station. And it was probably the only Budweiser brewed beer that I unironically enjoyed. I was just like, give me some of that Bud Dry.
Yeah, and I think it was just a matter of like the name. But why would I drink a dry beer?
But it was good.
No, it was
kind of like it was like a weird shitty wheat beer that wasn't a wheat beer. We're in Chicago. I'm only up there for a couple days. Came in Friday night, left Sunday afternoon. It was Saturday. It was our only full day, so we're kind of in the city doing some touristy stuff. Went to Chicago Music Exchange, saw some incredibly expensive guitars. Last time I was at CME was, I don't know, before the pandemic, 2019, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And their inventory was like high end and rare.
Okay.
And then like just a bunch of like normal stuff you might see at a Guitar Center and like mid-range vintage and like obscure guitars. So yeah, you might see like a 1978 Music Man Stingray, but they're not trying to get more than 15 for it. There was a couple of guitars there that I'm still a little angry I didn't have the money for at the time because I'm like, I'm never going to, if I ever find this guitar again, I'm going to be paying like 3 times as much.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, wow, that's a really cool V2 Flying V. Super cool age, it's aged gracefully. It's player grade. Oh, they want like $3,200 for it. I'm cool. Like it was one of those things where like, I wonder how much they want for that guitar. Like, no, I'm not even going to ask.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, like, wow, I didn't even know they made it in that color. And I'm a huge fucking guitar nerd. I didn't even know they made them in white. And like, I don't even want to know. But go there. Went to Urban Belly in Wicker Park, which is a great little Asian cuisine place. So there's a lot of like stuff that's Korean, some stuff that's Japanese, couple things that are like Chinese, Vietnamese. It's that kind of fusion.
Pan-Asian.
There you go. Had some really great fucking soba noodles, a really good matcha strawberry lemonade.
Ooh.
But the thing of that day that wasn't hockey related that kind of stuck with me is that we had to go see the Bean.
Of course.
And I had made a joke that, well, I've gone my whole entire life without seeing the goddamn thing. Why would I want to do it now? But M's friends were like, they want to see the Bean. So we go spend $35 of parking off Michigan. Because it's also fucking freezing out.
Yeah.
Because 40 degrees in Chicago is a little different than 40 degrees here. Because you ain't
Lake
got
effect.
Yes. Holy fucking shit. And it was like, and what I hated was like, I was still dressed or I was too fucking cold for outside. But anytime I was indoors, I was fucking sweating buckets. I'm like, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm just miserable, the whole, like, temperature wise. But go see the Bean. But as we're walking across Michigan, there's like a guy in a like giant gorilla costume just wigging the fuck out to get lucky.
The Daft Punk song?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he is just going the fuck out. And we're like, okay. And I see the skating rink, but then I hear something that sounds oddly familiar. I look further to my right and like, oh, it's Black Israelites.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And I know who they are. Em knows who they are. But one of her friends, I feel distinctly, has not had a life experience that has brought him near anything
Hoteps.
like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to explain it to him. And I'm just like, you just don't want to make eye contact with those people. Like, you just, don't even want them. You don't even want them to know you are aware of them,
Right?
Because they will try and get you in some weird gotcha or some weird argument, and they'll always live streaming it to like some dude gooning to it, and fucking Wyoming or some shit. The Black Hammer guy,
Yeah.
and his weird fucked up voice. And I was like, also like, we get to the Bean, and I'm like, wow, okay, wow, it is kind of neat, and like all these people, there's like this oddly good energy. Seeing all these people from different backgrounds, speaking different languages, like look at this fucking chrome bean, and I could kind of vaguely still hear them on the megaphone, and like this was a surreal experience. Like here's this thing, and I'm also thinking like, what do Black Israelites in Chicago have to say?
Right.
And then it just got stuck in my head that I'm just like, Mike Ditka was a black man.
Invented in a lab by Dr. Jacob.
Invented in a lab by Dr. Football.
Yeah. There's a reason why the Bears lose all the time. You see, it's because they're keeping
the black man
down. Yeah, you see?
Holy shit. I tried explaining who the Black Israelites were to a coworker.
Oh, boy.
It didn't go so well.
Yeah.
Because I realized I work with some honky-ass honkies. Even though, like, we're just on the other side of the river from where I grew up.
Right.
And it's like, how can your lived experience be so different than mine? And I just realized, I guess there's just no, like, black people in, like, Edwardsville.
Well, that's not even true because I went to college out there, so that's just.
It feels like I work with some guys. It's like, I tell them I'm going to see a show at, I'm going to go photograph a show off Broadway or something, like, wow, you spent a lot of time in the city. Like, bro, it ain't that far.
Oh, there's this mental block that people in Southern Illinois have about coming here. It's like it's 25 minutes tops by car.
Yeah. But it is like fucking weird to see like someone with like a Cubs shirt and like, yo, what the fuck?
What are you doing here?
It's like there's like a lot of like Northern Illinois shit that happens. I see at my job, and I'm just like,
That's strange.
that is peculiar.
Yeah.
Like seeing someone wear like a Bears jersey, like what the like they're in like the new logo, which the new logo is like, is that a League of Legends team?
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not good. It's bad, folks.
It's like the Stag redesign.
Oh.
To make it look like
I
a
don't
cover
remember
of a
the
trap
story.
CD.
I don't remember the story, but there was an allegation going around a couple years ago that the guy that was responsible for that was also like some kind of like notorious sex pest on Cherokee Street.
Awesome.
So it's like one of those things, like there's this call out thread on Facebook, and someone was like, yo, I think it also is pertinent to disclose here that this individual is also one of the people that was behind the redesign of Stag. And I think it had the most negative reaction emojis of everything, of like all these things this man had allegedly done to women. But I was like, he redesigned the Stag can. People are like, yo, fuck that.
this guy.
Yo,
Yeah.
hang him.
Well, because there was a Stag brewery in Belleville. That's why I make mention of Stag especially. It's 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking. My name's Jason. This is Brian. We're doing regionalism.
We are not black men, but we are terrible little albino minions created by Dr. Jakob.
Yes, we are doing localism in the opening of the show.
Localism.
I don't know if that's a thing, but we're doing that.
Wow, I'm eating my St. Paul sandwich while having the highest STD rates of any major metropolitan city in the United States.
I'm enjoying my toasted raviolis and the largest freestanding sculpture in the United States.
Yeah. Where's my car?
Oh, home of the worst race riot outside of Tulsa. Oh, East St. Louis. But anyway.
I drive past it pretty much every single time I leave Illinois, and I'm just like, it's been over 100 years. It's still fucked.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty,
white people. Yeah.
And Donald Trump's going to make every city look like that, apparently.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's like Kanye. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm saying that if I were doing an Ocean's 11 of people that have killed other people, I'd be breaking out the guy that got Shinzo Abe with the doohickey.
For sure.
And straight up would be heading over to New York City to get out Luigi. I'm putting together a team. We've got to get a guy with hair transplants and a stupid accent.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to hit him with the 3D printed doohickey.
Pretty much, yeah.
Also, work with people who had no idea who Shinzo Abe was. Or that he had been assassinated. Had no idea when I was talking about when I said we need to hit Elon Musk with the doohickey. And it turns out, if you Google the doohickey,
baby.
I was like one of those things where I'm like, no way.
No way.
This isn't straight up the drawing of the doohickey.
It's beautiful. I love it personally. It's so fun. We love to have fun.
God, what I'm saying is you should murder Elon Musk.
All right,
and Glenn Beck.
Okay, all right.
I'm saying. Listen, we also need to let him know that kid is not a good human shield. It does not provide enough coverage.
No.
Got
to get the older ones.
But they all hate him.
I know. So he's kind of hosed either way.
What is up, dog?
I don't really know how to begin this week's What's Hot Classic, so I'm just going to start off. The headline, Daily Dot, exclusive. First of all, it's not exclusive, but anyway, exclusive. Woke furry hijacks social channels for right-wing group that published the government DEI watch list. Mikhail Thalen here writing, the old Twitter account for the conservative nonprofit known as the American Accountability Foundation, AAF, the group behind the controversial DEI watch list, was hijacked by a self-described woke furry. And yes, at Exposing Biden is the handle. The display name is just now Woke Furry 69.
Amazing.
And one of the first things they posted was, of course, Rick Astley, never going to give you up. Rick rolled with their first post. In remarks to the Daily Dot, Woke Furry 69 stated they were, quote, just a regular person living life. I just figured I would claim the handle El Mao, they said. The DEI watch list website had this whole thing about federal workers. I think we talked about this when it first came out because it had targets on it. Like they literally used the word targets. They had a tip line. You know, the AP reported that they got $100,000 from Heritage Foundation, that type of shit. Woke Furry 69. Now let's see what they've been posting lately.
JD Vance photoshopped to look like the Milady guy.
The bio, gay furry, they, them, proud supporter of hashtag dark woke, suggestive retweets. Their pinned tweet now is, 2 things I'm very proud of, being a furry, being a gamer. Share if you're a furry gamer. It is someone's Wolf Sona playing on a looks like an Xbox. You've got, yeah, there it is. There's the actual meme. It's JD Vance stretched out to look bigger than he is with the beanie propeller hat and a lollipop. JD Vance took his phone to repair shop. Repairer, nothing is wrong with this phone. Vance, then why don't President Trump ever call me? Crying emoji.
I'm too lazy to find this. I'm just going to take a photo of your screen.
He's going to take a photo of a projector on a wall. It's going to be the most lossy thing ever. It's going to be great. He does not know what a JPEG is. Yeah, there's one of the characters from Five Nights at Freddy's in front of a neon sign that just says gay sex. He's really living life out here. Here's someone with an AI-generated photo of Elon Musk behind the wheel of an automobile with a glass of white wine. Be honest, is it safe to drink and drive? This is the at Elon Musk Ode account. It's one of the many verified parodies that are out there. So yes, the Woke Furry 69, having fun, living life. We love it. We also love people fucking with the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
Now, this one courtesy of the New York Times, which, take it with a grain of salt, but the Proud Boys no longer have control of their own name. Under a ruling by a Washington judge on Monday, the infamous far-right group was stripped of control over their trademark, Proud Boys, and was barred from selling any merchandise with either its name or its symbols without the consent of a black church in Washington that its members vandalized. Fucking A. In June 2023, the church won a $2.8 million judgment against the Proud Boys after its organization's former leader, Enrique Tarrio, and several of his subordinates attacked the church in a night of violence after a pro-Trump rally in December of 2020. It says the ruling clears the way for the church to try to seize any money that the Proud Boys might make by selling merchandise like hats or T-shirts. In a lengthy statement, Mr. Tarrio said the church should have its nonprofit status revoked and the judge in the case impeached. Quote, their actions are a betrayal of justice, he wrote, adding, I hold in contempt any motions, judgments, and orders issued against me. If you ever want to sound like a drill tweet, Enrique Tarrio.
Yeah, and didn't he just get pardoned?
Yeah.
Wasn't he also like a government asset?
I don't know about that.
I mean, they jailed him before January 6th, so he couldn't be in the field.
Oh, I did not know
Which is like a great limited hangout kind of move.
It is unconfirmed as of this point, let's put it that way. But you'll love to see it, folks. The Proud
fuck 'em.
Boys.
Though the Proud Boys are probably their only real victory was somehow outsmarting leftists in St. Louis. Still one of the fucking this is why I'll never go to a DSA meeting in St. Louis, because y'all fucking lost to the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
Who aren't like the people you saw in St. Louis, are not like the people you saw on January 6th.
No.
They were a bunch of really pathetic, low-level Groiper-ish type dudes that hung out in St. Charles that had girlfriends that were an age younger than them that is concerning.
Yeah.
And they would go to bars and not talk to other people and just be really weird. Danny, friend of the show, did a piece on them for the RFT that is illuminating of just, and I'm sorry to say, some of the most insane stuff that he told me didn't make it in there, which is a shame. And I'll hold this editor, Sarah Finsky, I'll hold her feet to the fire, because apparently she told him that they weren't narcs. But he had so many opportunities to blow up their spot. And actually, I think, make a piece with some real balls instead of one that was just a look at these fucking goons. One that would have emasculated them completely, obliterated them. And this is why I hate to say it, but this is kind of the shit why the RFT isn't around anymore, is because they pulled back from actually doing shit that was super engaging. They was well, this is good for clicks. We don't want to do real journalism, or we don't want to do anything that's aggressive. Fucking takes a chance. I don't even know how to relitigate it, but yeah, basically there was a bar that the Proud Boys hung out in St. Louis, in the city on the south side. Some local leftists, heavy air quotes here, staged a boycott of the bar, but it was a bar that no one really went to.
Right.
And eventually they convinced the owner to put a sign that an anti-Proud Boys sign in the window, and that shit was gone 2 days. The Proud Boys came back, and
feels like a missed opportunity. No Nazi shit in my bar. Get out.
Yeah, you'd think you're adopting this physical language here, Jason. That's concerning.
I'm trying to get comfortable.
Oh, okay.
These new mic stands are fucking with me. I don't know where to put my
your body.
Yeah, not.
Anyways, still, I'll punch down on St. Louis leftists on this one. You lost to the fucking Proud Boys, who were some of the biggest fucking goons. They were the Washington Generals of the Proud Boys.
Ooh.
You want to understand why DeRay was able to derail Ferguson.
Nice.
You don't really need to look any further than that example. Anyways, what we got next?
Oh boy. So there's a new Smurf movie coming out. I don't know if you know this. There's a new Smurf movie coming out. We didn't really need another one, but apparently we were.
And once they made the porno,
yeah. So Burger King has a bunch of new toys out for it, and one of them caught my eye. Razamel.
Oh. I almost want to get one just for the. Can you believe this exists?
That's the guy. It's Gargamel's some kind of Gargamel relative guy, but yeah, he it's a very particular pose when it comes to online anti-Semites. He's got a very long nose, and he's got his hands kind of rubbing together.
Yeah, it's anti-Smurfiot.
Yeah. But then the haircut is this like really severe black bob. He's got the thick eyebrushes.
It's like if Genghis Khan were Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah, here's what you would look like if you were Jewish and Chinese. That's what the toy is. With the pointy shoes. With the pointy shoes.
Amazing.
I didn't believe it was real either until I saw a YouTube video of a guy just like playing with the toy. Like, yeah, here it is. No one called foul on this at any point during this at all, because apparently this is direct from the movie. This isn't special to how the toy is. This is what he's going to look like in a feature film. Like he's Mongolian Jewish guy. It's amazing, is all I can say. It's just...
I mean, sometimes Jewish people have orange chicken on Passover, so I guess it tracks.
Yeah, so, okay, I can see it, yeah.
So. Wow, just...
stunning tone deafness.
Amazing.
And the character next to it, Ken, just looks like the average poster on Blue Sky when it's like, show your dick off Friday or whatever they're calling it. Fat Cock Friday. Sorry, excuse me, I got it wrong.
Oh, I can't be a part of that.
Pencil.
I'm like a roll of it. I'm like a container of M&M minis.
But yeah, go to Burger King and get your anti-Semitic toys, I guess, is what my point is there. Well, Brian, I guess that means it's time for the Crypto Scammo the Weeko.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
We talked about it when it was first announced that Enron was back. We talked about it with the guys from Buddyhead. Well, folks, the inevitable happened. That's right. The Enron 2.0 guys launched a coin. It's a Solana coin because, of course, it is. And yes, you can buy Solana with your debit card, apparently. They also, just as a side note, the egg, they announced the egg an at-home nuclear reactor.
Amazing.
Just, okay. So according to Crypto Rank, I don't know, again, all these different crypto news sites, but the headline, Enron meme token finally launches Sniper's crash price on Solana DEX. An attempt to relaunch Enron as a crypto token ended in a crash as the new meme token was sniped and sold immediately. The Enron project decided to go the way of decentralized meme tokens, but went through a pump and crashed just hours after launching. They launched as promised, choosing to start with a meme token and immediately DEX trading. The new asset Enron had a wild ride, pumping and crashing within hours of its trading start. Here's your chart. Not
wow,
good.
that is literally the suicide roller coaster.
You're right. Yeah, it went straight the fuck down. It traded at a peak of 65 cents, crashing soon after to its current range of 16 cents. They keep talking about the snipers. I don't know. No, Hawk Coin had the same conversation about snipers.
Yeah.
Is it like sniping an eBay auction? You just like get
Sort
in
of.
super quick?
Sniper bots, what they allow you to do is once liquidity has been added to a contract address, once it's gone live, once it's tradable, it's basically it's a gas fight to be the first person to buy. Obviously, if you're one of the first transactions on something, you can get a high amount. You can get sometimes as much as 0.5% to 1% of all available tokens, and you're getting that for nothing.
Right, because there's no gas to do it, I guess.
You're the first, so there's $50,000 of liquidity, and that means the price is going to be very low
Okay.
market cap.
Okay.
So as more people buy in, liquidity increases, market cap increases. So all of a sudden, if it starts at like a 50K market cap or something, I don't know why I said 50K liquidity. Market cap's a lot easier for this example. Starts at a 50K market cap and goes to 50 million.
Okay.
Or 100 million. Then obviously you might have spent an insane amount on gas to be one of the first transactions, but you're also up like 3,000%.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So
it
there's some
pays to
ridiculous
be
amount.
early.
So
Yeah.
that's what crashed Haktua. That's what crashes a lot of things. I have seen and been in Telegram groups with guys that have like killed off entire chains for like a month because they were just sitting there sniping anything that launched that had like any like KOLs behind it, because it's just like, well, this is easy money.
Jesus.
Yeah. Is the ultimate party spoiler thing, but there's people out there who spend a lot of time, spend a lot of money coming up with custom sniper bots, and they do really well at it. So
Sure.
not really surprised that something like this, it was super high profile, it was going to have a lot of eyes, a lot of attention on it, was going to be sniped.
So, according to this article, though, despite the claims, crypto traders remain skeptical of Enron, showing that snipers only had a small effect, and it may be some of the insider wallets that essentially rug pulled some of the earlier buyers. It says here, on-chain analysis shows the insider launchers may have also sniped another 2% of the early supply. So one of those 50 addresses that they sent a good chunk of it to. Let's see here. It says, based on the initial tokenomics, Enron was supposed to give 20% to the community while retaining 40% for the team, 30% for the foundation, and another 10% for liquidity pools. However, the current ownership structure is very different and resembles a risky meme token seeking exit liquidity. This time, the meme token community is on the more skeptical side, not rushing to pump Enron again. So that may be it. Because, yeah, that chart definitely does not look like it's going back up anytime soon.
No, it's probably going to be in what they call an accumulation phase forever. That will probably be something that when we hit the top of the bull cycle, we'll probably pump one last time, and that'll probably be that'll be like a top signal. It'll be like this and like dog with hat.
Yeah. Fucking dog with hat.
Which...
Yeah, I heard there was some fuckery
the crypto,
to do.
they raised $700K to be on the Vegas orb, and apparently that's never happened.
Oh, yeah.
And probably won't ever happen. And there's really not much else to go other than haha.
Yeah. Because it's dog with hat.
Dog with hat. The hat stays on.
Well, with all the unpleasantness in this world, Brian, I feel like our audience is overdue for a little bit of good news. A little bit of happiness.
Yeah.
And so this week our main topic is the secret society of happy people. In an article from the reporternews.com out of Dallas, Robert Weiland writing this in 1998. If you're happy and you know it, shh. There's a spot for you in the secret society of happy people. If you're happy but don't admit it because other people don't want to hear it, then we're the society for you, says founder Pam Johnson. The society, founded in August, again, 1998, in the Dallas suburb of Irving, promotes the idea that it's okay to be happy, despite the lack of positive response from others. That's especially true at Christmas, Johnson says, challenging advice columnist Ann Landers on the subject of family newsletters enclosed with holiday cards. Quote, spare us the details of the Ivy League schools your children are attending and the honors and awards they've received during the year. Just let us know in a handwritten note that your family is well and doing something useful, said a recent letter signed, Your Cousins in Illinois. Ann Landers responded, Dear Cousins, thank you for expressing sentiments that are sure to be shared and appreciated by millions of readers, including me. In a letter to Landers, Johnson demanded an apology. Quote, to the millions of people you made feel bad for wanting to share their happy news. Happiness is about recognizing the happy moments in your life, not competing with others, Johnson wrote. Quote, happy moments are good things that need to be shared more, not less, she said. Lander's editor in Los Angeles, Catherine Searcy, said she would pass along Johnson's letter and request a reply from the columnist. And so that is where the whole thing started, creating the actual secret society in Irving, Texas, but also the writing of this letter to the editor, essentially, to Ann Landers. The website is still up today, by the way. The website does still continue, and we'll get to that in a minute. We're going back into the history of it, though. Chicago Tribune, they did a article, Try Happiness, in 1999. It says it was updated 2021. Now, I don't know what they did to update it, like 12 years later, but...
Probably the audio version.
Oh, that's true. Listen to this article bit. Yeah, you're right. If Pam Johnson has learned one thing, it's that some people hate happiness. During the past year, the founder of the Secret Society of Happy People has been cursed on national television, received veiled telephone threats at home, and participated in a public dispute with columnist Ann Landers. We just talked about that in that last one. Quote, it isn't always well received. You tell people about the organization, and they roll their eyes back, she said. But I don't mind the hostility. That tells me there's a need for the organization. The society, which Johnson says has about 800 dues-paying members nationwide, will celebrate its first anniversary August 8th with a proclamation of Admit Your Happy Day with a reception at Johnson's apartment complex in the Dallas suburb of Coppell. For $30 a year, the article continues, members receive a t-shirt, a lapel pin, a bumper sticker, a subscription to the society newsletter, and a personal pen pal.
I'm sorry, but when I hear or read about things like this, I can't help but think about the Achewood Mensa application. Unscramble the word, and it says rutabaga.
Yeah.
And the answer field Ray just writes, thanks.
Yeah, it does. I also always feel like when there's things about like being happy and like these positivity things, I always feel like there's an expectation that there's something sinister behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people joking about how Mr. Rogers was in the military or shit like that. And
he had a tattoo. Oh, my heavens to Betsy.
Right.
That man had. That's why he was wearing long sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
Not because he was taking off a pair of shoes to put on another pair of shoes, which is what fucked me up as a kid. Was like,
really?
Why don't you just keep the shoes off?
Well, that's true, but like, you didn't have house shoes versus outdoor shoes?
No.
Okay.
I walk around in socks or barefoot like real river trash.
No, I mean, look, I do the same. I take my shoes off as soon as I come in the door, but it's one of those things where like, okay, he has house shoes. That's fine. That didn't bother me so much. It was the sweater or the jacket. Replacing the jacket with the sweater. Just take the jacket off.
Cardigan, yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. You know, if you're that cold, just wear the cardigan outside. Don't bother with the switching with the jacket. Whatever.
People were weird back then.
I mean, they're still weird, but they're weird in different ways. An interesting idea, right? I can't hate it too much. As cynical and as jaded of a human being as I am, I feel like, well, okay, she's this lady in her 30s, motivational speaker, wannabe author. Her whole deal is like, people should be happy. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. And yet part of my brain is like, there's something dark going on here, right? There's something sinister, because I think that's just how cynicism works. Okay, so here's the current website as it is. It's no longer the Secret Society of Happy People, by the way. Now it's just the Society of Happy People, because they're like, well, why hide it, right?
All right. Also, Secret Society. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. The Illuminati that wants us to be happy.
We will eat the bugs and be happy. Yeah, no, I get it. They did update the website. It didn't always look like this, but it doesn't feel like a lot has changed because it's very bright. There's a lot of photos of smiling people. Here's Pamela Gale Johnson, founder. She has since gotten her CPC, which is the Certified Professional Coach. She is a public speaker, author of a book called Practical Happiness, 4 Principles to Improve Your Life. Oh, there's barefoot in her...
She gave away the feetsies for free?
That's happiness, my man. She writes this on the website, and this is, again, SOHP.com. You can go see this right now. Way back in 1997, I wondered where all the happy people hung out. Well, first of all, you were in Irving, Texas, so that's probably a clue. That's not where the happy people hang out. It was the height of the self-help movement, so there was a lot of focus on what you didn't like about your life. After the encouragement of friends and strangers in 1998, I started the secret society of happy people to give mostly happy people their own tribe. After 20 years and hundreds, maybe thousands of interviews, we dropped the secret because we weren't really a secret anymore. Now we're simply the Society of Happy People. And our goals are still the same. Help people recognize more happiness, celebrate more happiness with our 3 international holidays, Happiness Happens Day, Happiness Happens Month, and the Hunt for Happiness Week. And of course, learn the secret membership code. We still have to have a little fun, right? Now, you have to understand something. My wife is a therapist.
My wife.
Thank you. She's also... She knows a lot of people like this. The Pam Johnsons of this world. She knows a lot of these people. So this woman's whole vibe is very familiar to me. It's also like, okay, something happened here, right? There was some at some point. No, I mean, a lot of it is strictly as she said. So they founded society, did the Ann Landers bit, and then it was a whole thing. So we're on Wikipedia, and we've been on People Magazine, and they identified the 31 types of happiness, Brian.
There's 31?
31.
Wow, there's just as many flavors. It's the Baskin Robbins of happiness.
Now, they're using the yellow emoji faces for some of these, too, and I'm like, some of these probably do have a weird, like, sexual meaning, but...
You know...
Or they also kind of sort of look like Ms. Pac-Man.
A little bit.
It's sort of strange. But, you know, amused, blessed, celebration, cheerful, confident, content, creative, enthusiastic, fun, giving, grateful, helpful, honorable, humor, inspired, joyful, kind, love, motivated, nostalgic, optimistic, peaceful, playful, proud, relieved, respectful, satisfaction, social, spiritual, successful, and valued. Now, I feel like we could trim that list down a bit. I feel like we could...
So which one of these emojis do you think is getting the best head?
Spiritual, clearly. Eyes closed. Yeah. Although motivated does look like he's just having the time of his life. He's got a big ear-to-ear to grin. Grateful is also about to nut. Confident and grateful are very close to each other.
Yeah, one is, I think, closer to the climax.
So each one of these has their own page. Confident. Here we go. When we're confident, people can't rain on our parades because we don't care what they think. When we're confident, we're willing to take risks because we know if we fail, we can pick ourselves up to try again. We gain confidence from something as simple as receiving a compliment to something as complex as mastering a skill or subject matter, and the countless experiences in between. Confidence, unlike pure ego, is humble because its goal is to inspire instead of grandstand. What are you confident about? Yeah, Brian, what are you confident about?
Not much, man. Not even my own bowel movements.
I'll tell you what I'm confident about. My fucking head game. Anyway. Woo.
Wow.
Yeah,
Great. Congratulations.
Watch out. So the FAQ does have some interesting stuff. So apparently August is the big month. That's Happiness Happens month. August 8th, supposedly, according to Pam Johnson, when the foundation was founded, that is Happiness Happens Day. And the third week of January, we just missed it, Hunt for Happiness Week. The FAQ also asking the important questions. Do you want everyone to be happy all the time? Of course not. Being happy all the time isn't realistic for anyone. However, we want people to make an effort to recognize and even talk about their happy moments as much as they do their unhappy ones. Maybe more because happiness is more fun. How many members do you have? Thousands of people from 45 identified countries are members. Why did you start the society? At this point, I'd say blind optimism. When we started the society, happiness wasn't part of the cultural conversation like it is today. I call bullshit. Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy was a big hit right around that time. But anyway.
But then when people found out he was actually like kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think he was happy, but not really a lot of people around him.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. In 2018, when the society celebrated its 20th birthday, a reporter asked me being Pam, "What have you learned about happiness in 20 years?" I hadn't really thought about it until he asked the question. Although we've learned a lot about happiness scientifically speaking, happiness is more of a mindset. What I've learned seemed to be more about wisdom, my code word for age, but I think we can be happier when we apply what I call the practical happiness principles. And that is from the book Practical Happiness, 4 Principles to Improve Your Life. 2022 is when that book came out. If you want a print version of that 31 Types of Happiness guide, that is available for you on Amazon. Kindle version, $3. They do not have the print version of the Happiness Guide, however. But they do include, on the Happiness Happens Day, a recipe for pink lemonade. It's all right.
Doesn't sound bad.
2 cups of white sugar.
2 cups of sugar.
9 cups water. Just make it 8. Make 2 quarts, but whatever. 2 cups fresh lemon juice. 1 cup chilled cranberry juice. Garnish with mint leaves, fresh raspberries, and lemon slices. Yeah, I think I could fuck with that.
That needs vodka.
That's because we're reprobates, and that's how we define happiness. I mean, there's a newsletter. You can become a member. Let's see how much it is to become a member. You have to do the Buy Me a Coffee shop, of course. $5 a month. For $5 a month, you can be a Society of Happy People member. You get the 12-month happiness planner. You get the social media member badge, member-only monthly message, quarterly themed happiness boosters, and then it says opportunity to support the Society of Happy People on a monthly/yearly basis. I don't know what that means. Feels like maybe there's another layer to this. Maybe if you get in at the $5 level, then you can go into Sea Org and learn all about the ships.
Going from port to port, evading Interpol.
Where's Shelley? Anybody seen Shelley? All right. But yes, People Magazine did a story on him. Again, a lot of these are from the 90s, right when this started. Here's a photo of Melissa Hammer pouring a watering can on founder Pam Johnson, who's got an umbrella out and is smiling ear to ear there. Yeah, she was a regional sales rep for the Hazelden Foundation and became a happy warrior in 1997 while she was running a women's workshop and wanted to empower people to be happy. She insists her group is not self-help. Quote, "We don't tell you how to do it." But they do have a newsletter, t-shirts, bumper stickers, and a website that asks, quote, "When did being happy become politically incorrect?" Ah, yes. Politically incorrect, the phrase of the time there, 1999, made its way. It was the name of a fucking show. Bill Maher had a show, right? Politically Incorrect. That was his, that was his big debate show.
Yeah, politically incorrect.
Yeah. What is your favorite happiness booster from the FAQ? Sleep. If I get less than 7 hours for more than a night or two, I get really cranky. I even find myself crying for the silliest reasons. Pam, you have depression.
Pam, have you ever tried Quaaludes?
Yeah, pretty much. It's odd to see something so earnest that doesn't have a sinister hook, that doesn't have an ulterior motive, right? Which is why we made the fucking Scientology joke, because it does feel like a lot of these people who would be part of something like this would have skeletons, right? Because
I mean, we say this now and like give it a year, and there's going to be a 2-part Behind the Bastards.
There's going to be like 6-episode HBO documentary. Yeah, when Pam dug up the skeletons of her neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. And we are primed for that, I think, because of true
I want
crime.
I want to ask Pam questions like, hypothetically, would you rather have your hypothetical son be molested or be a SoundCloud rapper?
SoundCloud rapper. Got it. I
Molested.
mean, okay.
Because then at least they'd make real art.
Oh, whoa. God damn. I'm going to go not molested. Personally.
Also, it's a lot cheaper to pay for therapy than it is rehab.
It depends on who your therapist is, man. Have you seen the going rates around here?
Every kid needs a little bit more.
Oh, come on. Come on. That's like legally actionable. Like, I could be... If it wasn't bad enough we did the Nazi pedophilia webcomic, now we gotta do this. Okay.
I'm being facetious.
I know. I understand that.
In Minecraft. In
exactly.
Roblox.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. I think what you're saying is that adversity builds character is what you're trying to get
Yeah.
at. But I think Pam took it one step too far. And she launched part of the site called Happier at Work, Brian.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is the dark side of it.
Happier at Work. Why happiness at work matters. Point 1, you'll be at least 12% more productive. According to whom? How are we measuring this? You are 40% more likely to be promoted. Again, according to whom? You will take 10 times fewer sick days. No, I will not. Number 4, you'll be more creative. Okay, now that one you might, but again, that's hard to quantify. And number 5, you'll be a better problem solver. Yes. Okay.
I think probably you will probably take lesser sick days. I think that one's actually probably been scientifically proven.
Oh,
that people that have better mental health take.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this feels like this is something that she's trying to sell to employers, where she comes around to your office. Because, here's the quote. Happier employees create organizational win-wins. They're more productive, increase customer loyalty, and improve bottom lines. Let's see here. Let's see what she does in this 2-minute video. Happier at Work, live at AACT. Oh, boy.
Oh, it's a donkey show.
A lot of Midwestern wine moms are missing their happy hour to be at this. They're doing this in like a fucking a Wingstop or something. Right behind her is a picture loving the display of like chicken fingers. For a public speaker, I'm not feeling all that impressed. Gotta be honest.
Yeah, a little lacking. I think there's something there.
But she's been doing this for 20 years, so...
Maybe she's a better writer. Maybe she's better at her newsletters. You know, like this.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't her strength. But I think there is something to be said about when it comes to work, finding harmony and camaraderie.
Right.
Sincerely. I think there's a lot of value in that. So I'm not saying that there isn't... And, there isn't a space for an argument or a mindset like this.
It's hard enough to survive in the world without other people dragging you down. I don't mean to cover this in any kind of negative way. I think it's truly interesting what she's been able to do for the past 26, 27 years. I am definitely like, wow, okay, the site's still up. She's still she's made this into basically her whole life. She goes around and does these tours and does all this speaking, and happiness is her jam. And that's cool. I don't care what you say. I don't care if she has a collection of tiny shoes. Happiness is not a bad idea. It's the reason why I laugh so much on this show, because I can, otherwise I'm crying, man. I don't know. I feel like sometimes we gotta let cynicism go, and it's a crutch. It's a crutch.
It's hard for me.
No, I understand that.
Because
it's hard for me too.
I spent a lot of time growing up around my grandfather. My grandfather was many great things, but he was a cynic. If anything, evident by my sense of humor. But that's like a thing I kind of like still fight with. Is there's like there was stuff today. Like, I won't get into the specifics, but like, God, I just sounded like my fucking grandpa.
Yeah.
Like, what fucking... My grandpa could be a real fucking sourpuss. I had the same problem as him, as I can be the sort of person who would give anyone the shirt off his back, and also be the person being like, oh, now you're wearing my shirt, I can say that shirt was like a dish rag. Who's stupid? You took the shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, I was wearing it. But you asked for it.
Yeah, hey, dumbass.
Nerd.
Look at you, got on some other guy's shirt. What are you, queer? Yeah.
What you gay?
So to come down from that happiness overload, it's shock.jpg.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
Just gonna rip the Band-Aid off and do it this time, Brian. No preamble, no getting to know you chit chat. This one is one that I have started calling the Shocker, courtesy of our friends at Chaotic, Kaotic. Uploaded under the category WTF and geotagged as Poland.
Oh, of course.
The actual title is What the Fuck Shocked Anal with Taser. It opens with a naked woman spreading herself. She's bent over the ottoman and leaning onto the couch. And
This is obviously in a hotel room.
the furniture and all. But yes, there is the cattle prod looking taser thing connected to her B-hole, the other one connected to the V-hole, and then he hits the taser.
Wow. Hit her with the doohickey.
And then goes back in for a second hit. And that's the one that, like...
Woo! She's like it's like a fucking Disney cartoon from the 50s. Gosh, Goofy, you tased my nethers.
She kind of spasms just directly into the couch. It's only 10, 15 seconds long, but it's just...
Yeah. I'm more confused by what's in the corner here. Skinhead girl gets blowjob during party?
Okay, well, that's not a blowjob.
That's not a blowjob. I mean, all right.
I've seen weirder things on Cherokee. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean...
But yes, Polish user Potato21. The comments, it's just a test that needs to be done. 88,000 views.
I hate to ask, what else is under the tag Poland?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. Let's see. Unlucky Ukrainian immigrant is run over 3 times. Man shitting on a roof. Well, all right, let's look at the guy.
Well, you know.
Let's see. Standing on a roof, on very precariously on a terracotta roof. Cherry picker's up there. Seems like emergency workers are trying to get him off of the roof. He slips and falls.
Whoa.
Oh, he's stumbling, trying to get away from the guys on the cherry picker.
Interesting. There's a guy jogging in the background, completely
Oblivious. Yeah, he's just yeah. He goes down between 2 chimneys and just starts.
I'm a little bummed it ends there, but you know what? If you're going, I guess, you know what? Let the imagination run wild.
Yep. Ukrainian taxi driver assaulted. Polish woman shits in public. Yeah, so that's things that are...
hold on.
Well, which one?
Climbing wall without a harness.
Oh, boy. WCGW, what could go wrong?
Yeah. It's a padded floor. No, it's not.
No, it is not. No, it is not. Oh, no.
Hey,
there's a lot of lead up too. The longer the lead up is,
you know what? See someone get tased in their genital areas wasn't enough. I need to see real bodily harm.
No, I don't actually. Looking for something for this segment, I wound up in an entire thread of Indian guys getting run over by trains. Like, oh,
I don't really like
Christ. That. No, I don't either.
The only thing I've ever liked getting hit by a train was the donkey because it exploded. Yeah, it did a PS1 explosion.
Okay, all right.
Oh man, he's getting really high up there. Oh,
the longer this goes on, the more. Here you go. Oh god!
Oh!
Completely ragdolls.
Wow.
Face down, and I'm fairly certain
he's not dead.
Not dead, but really,
he ain't walking for a minute.
He got his bell rung really bad. He didn't land on his feet, so he didn't break his legs.
He did land on his feet.
He did? Hold on.
Yeah. Let's watch it. Let's roll back the tape.
No, just and see if I play it in reverse. He gets up and gets back on his way.
He goes right back up.
No, he landed. He landed on his chest, his abdomen,
which is.
Yeah, because then he bounced.
Oh, jeez, he bounces like a dog toy.
Oh.
Kind of
wish I hadn't seen
I'm
that.
not really sure how you take that.
You broke some ribs, right? You got some big bruises.
Probably some internal bleeding.
Oh, I mean, if your ribs
break like that,
they're gonna jam right in whatever organs.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would deal.
I mean, he lost conscious like that.
Oh, he was
out.
Stiffed up.
Yeah.
You can't roll out of it. You're coming down too hard to. Yeah, you can't do something where you touch your feet and roll forward. You can't break. You just can't transfer momentum like that because your momentum is too vertical and there's no horizontal.
You've kind of not necessarily terminal velocity, obviously, but you've reached kind of a.
You're coming down too fast. You're coming down at too sharp an angle. I think his flaw, because he jumps away from the wall.
Yeah, because that's what you do when you have a harness on.
I would have fucking rolled the dice.
You're gonna go for the broken arm tango of trying to grab one of those other bits there, yeah.
I've done it.
You fracture your wrist spiral style, but yeah.
I've done it bouldering, which is like a third the height. You realize you're losing grip, and you see your next move, and you might lose a top layer of skin. Better than falling.
Yeah, sure. That was really uncomfortable. That made me cringe in a way that
I felt nothing.
Okay, well.
Good
for you. What am I supposed to say to that? Yeah, okay.
There's a sense of terror of knowing that something terrible is about to happen to another person. The inevitability of that moment.
Because it wouldn't have been posted if it was just a normal climb. The very fact that it was posted somewhere, especially somewhere where we just saw somebody get tased in their asshole.
In their pussy hole.
Right. At the same time. Completed the arc.
I think completed the circuit.
Yep. Woo!
It'd probably be on YouTube. It probably would have been on TikTok.
It's context sensitive. This particular website.
Yeah. I think the thing that's going to stick with me is how the fuck do you get out of that situation? What's your best case scenario? That's what's going to be the brain teaser for me is how do you walk away from that the least fucked?
Why don't we ask the people in the audience? Give us a call, 314-246-9766. Do you know how to survive that?
He should have tased himself in his butthole. On the way down, he should take out his personal taser and rattled himself in the butthole.
And get you nice and loose so you don't break anything when you hit the floor, yeah. It's Breathman time then. I guess that's just what that means.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the Breath Mint.
So I did finish Joker Folie à Deux, and I enjoyed it. It was a nice piece of cinema. A little long, but you didn't really feel the length. Music was great. I love that for the most part it was non-diegetic. It was the actors in the scene singing, or at least it seemed like it was them singing in the scene, which always feels nice, as opposed to things like that Wonka musical where you can very clearly tell it's 80 yards later. Lady Gaga's voice is not perfect in every scene, and I think that's kind of
it's on purpose. Yeah,
yep.
She wanted it to be. She thinks she sings clear in the stuff that's in Joker's head.
Yes,
but anything out that's supposed to be in the real world, she's a little shakier.
That's very clearly delineated in the film, and I think that's a good thing. And they also do things with color and certain sequences and things. I think it's really a movie it's about identity, right, and about mediated reality. So it's almost a situationist movie. Not really, but
a little bit.
It comes close.
Honestly, there's an argument.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an interesting viewpoint to walk away. I definitely see identity in media. Yeah, okay.
Well, when they're saying multiple times, who am I talking to, right? So in the first film, you see Arthur become Joker, and in the second film, you see the exact same thing. You see Arthur become Joker. That these two parts of himself can't be reconciled, and there is forever going to be a distance between them. And so there's the self, and there's the self that observes the self. Thank you, Kierkegaard. It's a fucking comic book movie too, so of course you got to have Harvey Dent in there, but that's fine. It's fine.
I mean, Bruce Wayne's in the first one
as
a kid, and I think it's all done in a way that's interesting.
It's almost as though Batman is a thing that's just kind of happening in the sidelines, where you're more concerned about Arthur, and so are the films. So that's nice.
I mean, I do like the way some of the music bits are presented, particularly the one where Harley's on the piano. It's his vision, and and he's the suave playboy smoking a cigarette on the top of the piano, and he's how he sees himself or
Yes.
idealizes himself, and how that's expressed, but how in real life he is a victim of circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
He is mentally ill. He is a person to have empathy for on some level, and probably on more levels to have pity.
Yeah, definitely. I feel more pity for Arthur than anything else.
I can't say I understand why people dislike this movie as much as they do.
Well, right, because there's even a scene in one of Arthur's fantasies of himself as Joker and Harley. they're doing the song. I can't remember what song it is now.
But they stop. Are they talking about the one where they stop and she's like, "Come on, honey." Let's
Yeah,
do what they
well, you're
want."
making it all about you. And I feel like we're not giving the people what they want. Right? And so, like, very clearly the filmmakers understand that 2019 Joker attracted a certain kind of fan, and they are very much not interested in having those people be a fan of this movie.
No, Joaquin Phoenix, I think, did a great job.
Yeah.
If anything, it feels like the movie is let down by the script. I don't think
it's got more ideas than it has things to do with those ideas.
I don't think there's really any bad performances.
No.
I don't
Domhnall
think-
Gleeson, I mean, love him.
Tim Dillon.
Yeah.
Just randomly.
Yeah, sure.
Just randomly, here's a
Catherine
Tim Dillon
Keener,
scene.
here's, just.
Well, we gotta get the incels to watch it.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
I need Tim Dillon's in it. Oh, I gotta see it. I saw him at Skankfest.
Steve Coogan.
Yeah.
But Steve Coogan as the interviewer has a few great moments early on in the film. There's so much interesting stuff happening. The third act kind of goes off the rails, and I was like, well, okay, how much of this is real? Because we know that Arthur, the character that the film is the viewpoint of, is an unreliable narrator. We know that from the previous film where he invented that whole relationship with his neighbor, which is explored in an interesting way in the courtroom scenes.
The character is played by the dwarf character.
The little man.
Yeah. He's great in everything he's been in. Because he was in Game of Thrones. I've seen him in a couple other things. Like, he's in the movie for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And gives a stellar performance. And they use that character to an interesting effect.
Yeah, his testimony scene
is, I think, one of the strongest performances in the movie.
It's definitely comes at
of this person, the person who doesn't hate Arthur, but is terrified of him.
Yeah.
And doesn't know really how to doesn't know what to do with everything that's happened.
Right, because the Arthur he knew was a quiet, kind guy. Very much like when you see somebody on the news that just went up and shot up a high school. He was a quiet loner, right?
Yeah.
This is the guy that I knew, and he murdered someone in front of me, and I don't know how to square this with the fact that I knew this guy, and he wasn't, whatever. And it's not a big flashy moment, but it is a very important moment.
It is a sobering moment.
Yes.
It takes the fanatical. It takes out the fanatical, and I think it grounds the narrative. But then he shows up in Arthur's fantasy about marrying Lee.
Yeah.
As like the pallbearer.
That's right. It's so strange.
Or ring bearer, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got something to do in that.
Lee Gill.
Yes. We got Zazie Beetz coming back as the neighbor. Yeah, like I said, Steve Coogan, Ken Leung. You see some of these people, and you're like, oh, I know that guy from somewhere.
Recognizable voices, faces.
The character actors. Chock full of character actors.
Yeah.
You'd love to see it.
Did you get my criticism of, like, this is obviously L.A. shot for New York, and it's really distracting?
Yes. Later on in the film, it's definitely more in your face about it.
Yeah, honestly, that's my biggest complaint with the film.
Yeah. No,
it's not dirty enough. It's not dark enough.
Not grimy enough.
To be a facsimile of 70s New York City.
Yeah, and
it looks too much like 70s LA, which is a little different type of grime.
Very
different type of...
Yes. Dirty Harry versus King of Comedy, let's say. Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate its ambition. And what it was trying to do, and I still think Joaquin Phoenix did a fantastic job with what he had, what he was given, and I think Lady Gaga did a fine job.
How about you, Ryan? What do you got this week?
Have you played Balatro?
I have not. Now, I understand that it is a game that is addictive.
Yeah.
Break it down for me. It's just poker, right?
So is like somewhere between poker and solitaire.
Okay.
It is also a roguelike.
Okay.
You are given, so you have your deck 52 cards,
Correct.
and you start out in a blind, and you have a point system.
Okay.
So you're using like the typical, I guess it would be the typical like poker point system, and you're trying to say like, so your first blind, you're trying to get 300. And you have modifiers, which are called jokers, and you have all these other little things. There's like 3 different types of modifiers that you can do. And then you have cards that can be glass cards, or they can be glass cards, they can be gold cards, and they have different properties and so on and so forth. And it is so fucking good.
And you were saying you were playing on your phone.
Yeah. You can get it for like $15.
Okay.
And it's $15 well spent. Some of my coworkers were telling me like, oh yeah, it's super great. Maybe don't get on your phone because it'll ruin your life. Like maybe get on your, I'm like, well, I don't want to get like on the Xbox because I don't want to sit from my Xbox and play a game I can play on my phone.
Yeah.
Why take up that screen?
Sure.
And I was like, all right. But like, I kind of wish when I was sick, I had this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel well enough to like sit at my computer, really even well enough to really sit in front of the TV. Just really felt well enough to lay in bed. And Balatro would have been great. I actually had a conversation with someone today where they were telling me like, yeah, the first time the first day I started playing it, I drained my phone from 100 to 15% twice.
Jesus.
Yeah,
So-
and this is a guy I would not describe as being a big gamer. And he was like, holy shit, was I locked in.
So it's roguelike. What you mean by that is that you get like...
One life.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I was referring more to the things that, like, I think I've seen a bit about like foil packs, like special things
Yeah.
that you get by beating certain things, and so you can kind of power up.
You have like different difficulties or different modifiers. So you have the modifiers of your deck.
Okay.
And you can get a deck where you can have more Joker cards, or decks where you have more hands per round or more discards per round, things like that.
Okay.
And then you have like, so say with one deck you win, you win your run. You
Okay.
get all the way to the end. So you do that, and then you unlock a different difficulty. As you get into the higher difficulties, you get in your blister packs or in your foil packs, you get more specialized cards. So you're going to get pretty much playing cards in your decks on the base difficulty, but you get on the first degree of the difficulty, then you start getting stuff that's like holographics or foils, and they have different modifiers attached to them, and it can get really intricate, and it's kind of like playing Nuclear Throne or Enter the Gungeon in a certain way. Like a lot of roguelikes where like sometimes you just happen to have that little bit of luck, and you get the right modifiers, you get the right stuff to have a great run. And you can really break the fucking game. Like, and I feel like that is the mark of any great roguelike, is that like they don't hold you back from having stuff that's like so completely overpowered, because that's part of the fun. Having a run that feels like you're using a cheat code. The variables that have to line up for that to happen are so, the odds of that happening are so low that you should be able to enjoy your broken run. As I've had runs of Enter the Gungeon or Nuclear Throne where it's like, this is fucked. A friend told me, oh, don't play it. It'll ruin your life. It ruined my partner's life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. My coworkers keep telling me to play, but they also keep saying the same thing. Like, it's going to ruin your life until like until it scratches your itch. And then you will then approach it in a much more healthy way. And I'm like, and that's how it was. Like, I'm obsessed playing this game, and then it scratched the itch I needed to scratch. And now I'll play a couple hours a week, maybe. I fired it up when I came home from work today. I'll probably fire up a couple times over the weekend, play a round or two.
Okay.
But before, like, yeah, I was like 3 hours. I'm just gonna play fucking Balatro, not even acknowledge anything else going on in the world.
Not even
people
blink.
texting me. Listen.
I got shit going on.
I got shit going on, man. I'm trying to fucking I'm trying to get these the correct amount of jokers for the modifiers. Trying to level up my 2-pair modifiers, like all that fun shit. my friend, she was telling me that she told her partner about that, and their partner response is like, "Yeah, it'll fuck up your life." And then she told me they then went and started to go play Balatro.
Oh boy.
I was hanging out with that friend Monday night for a little bit, and she told me, I was telling her how much I enjoyed Balatro, and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna get fucking Balatro."
Oh boy.
So after work, she bought Balatro, and now like her Instagram stories have all been about like I have cursed my life with, and like it's just like, yeah, welcome to the fucking suck, babe.
Yeah, I've held out, but I don't think I'm gonna hold up for much longer.
Get on your fucking phone. It's $15.
No, I know.
It's in. You can watch the kids while you're playing.
Well, they're teenagers. They don't need to be watched. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. And speaking of the kids, though, my son has been a big fan of this guy, Dave Pilkey. Are you familiar with Dave Pilkey?
No, I'm not.
So he did the kids' book series, multiple. He did the one Captain Underpants about the two kids, Harold and George, best friends, and they do comic books and they're all hanging out, being best buddies. DreamWorks did a Captain Underpants movie a couple years back. Fantastic. Great movie. Love to see it. So when DreamWorks announced they were doing another Dave Pilkey project based on the book that Harold and George from Captain Underpants wrote called Dog Man, I said, I've got to see this fucking movie. So Tuesday we went to see the movie, and I got to tell you something. Whatever these guys over at DreamWorks that are doing these Dave Pilkey movies are doing, they need to teach everyone else who does animation, because they're doing shit that is not necessarily, I wouldn't say genius, right? That's kind of a strong word, but what I would say is like they're doing things that kids animation doesn't always do, which is they're taking risks and being kind of weird with it. For those of you not familiar, Dogman is, again, an in-universe comic written by the kids from the Captain Underpants series. So this is like, it's intentionally amateurish, right? Because it's written by kids. But the movie doesn't acknowledge any of that. I was fully expecting it to be this like meta thing where like they pop out of the movie and you're like, oh, it's Harold and George from the last movie talking about how this Dogman comic's great. No, it's played 100% straight. Now you might think that sounds terrible, but it's charming enough that it will win you over. It's wickedly funny. It's very silly. It's a very silly movie. It's about a cop who has a canine partner, and they go to stop this evil cat named Petey, but they accidentally blow themselves up, and the only part of the man that survives is his body, and the only part of the dog that survives is the head. And so the nurses at the hospital decide they're going to sew the dog's head on the man's body, and thus he becomes Dogman. Now, in a movie like this, you would expect Dogman to speak, like English. Mm-hmm. No, for the entire film, Dogman does not speak. That is to its credit, by the way. The people that do speak are mostly Petey, played by Pete Davidson, who I did not expect to be this fucking good. The kid who plays Little Petey, because Petey, the evil cat, decides he's going to need a partner in crime, and so he clones himself, not realizing that the cloning machine, the clone it still needs to grow up, so the clone he gets is like a little kid version of himself. There's great little bits they do with animation styles, where like in the middle of a scene, they'll slap together like 2 or 3 ideas. I don't know. It's very hard to describe without you seeing it in action, but there's just so much stuff, and it all feels very handmade. Even though it is 3D CGI, it still has that chunky feeling of like someone scribbled this on a piece of paper and we stuck it to a wall.
I love that.
There's just so much style oozing out of every fucking frame, and it looks like it was straight out of the books. Like every frame looks like Dave Pilkey sat there and drew it for reference, which is a good thing. It's something that the Captain Underpants movie took a little bit of liberties with, but this movie really hews extremely close to the source material. My 14-year-olds, who grew up on these books had a blast. I did too. I was surprised. I thought, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way you're going to make a movie out of a comic within a comic that's kind of intentionally drawn kind of crappy and make it good. They did it. That's fucking surprising to me. I hope it makes some more money because I do want to see them do the other Dave Pilkey series, not the Kung Fu Cavemen. No. Which was another series he did. Ook and Ugg, the Kung Fu Cavemen. No, I want to see them do Ricky Ricotta and his giant robot. Yes, a mouse who pilots a cheese-powered giant robot. He does come back to giant robots a lot in his work. The Captain Underpants movie ended with a giant toilet that was a robot. Well, in this one, there is a giant mailman robot who fights sentient buildings. And also an evil fish played by Ricky Gervais. It's very silly. Very fun.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that sounds
it's
interesting.
Absurd. It's completely absurd.
I like absurd. I like absurd, weird, fucked up shit.
If you can get past the existential horror of a dog's head on a man's body and just roll with it, the movie rewards you with a lot of it's a lot of heart. A lot of good stuff.
I don't know. Like, I still have a soft spot for the first Chronicles of Narnia movie, even though, like...
Yeah, there's some great stuff in there.
Yeah.
The World War II scenes in the opening are dynamite.
There's still that shot of them on the mountain that's some of the worst blue screen or green screen of its era.
Yeah.
Still don't know how they fucked that one up. With all the other money that's on display.
It feels like a reshoot. It feels like they had something else, then they replaced it with that.
It's a shame that's one of the things that I remember the most about that movie is just how jarring. It's two shots. It's two cam shots.
Yeah.
And they're so jarring of quality from the rest of the movie. You're like, huh?
Well, it's because they stick out.
Yeah.
Because like all the costume work and all the prosthetic work they have for Tumnus and even that time period CG for Aslan, not bad.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah. The Witch Queen is a great look, like aesthetically. I think they've got a lot of good stuff going in there. Even the designs of the costumes for the kids when they have their royal personas. I think there's some stuff there.
When the Ice Queen shows the battle and she's got Aslan's mane on her dress. Like,
hell yeah.
None of those kids, I think, have really done anything besides those movies.
They did 5 of them.
Did they do 5 of them?
They did. A lot of them were straight to video, though.
I had no idea. I thought Voyage of the Dawn Treader was the last one.
No, they did Silverchair, and then I think they were working on Magician's Nephew, which is a prequel anyway, so it's fine. It says it was canceled. So, that was announced. I'm sorry. It was announced that they were doing Silverchair. But yes, they said, Dawn Treader was going to be the end. But apparently this year they said they're coming back. But who the hell knows?
I thought I know they're redoing they're doing a new version of it. Like whatever. I know there are things about C.S. Lewis that probably
screw-shaped letters.
Well, I was just gonna say like probably go against like what people think of me through this podcast, but like I don't know, I have a soft spot for it. It was one of the few comfort films I put on at Blockbuster that no one else would bitch about. Oh, you put on Chronicles of Narnia? Okay, sure, sick. It was that and Dark Knight. Yeah. Because Dark Knight also just has like my dogs are hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
Rachel! Just endlessly quotable movie.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know how I got these late fees? My dad was a real...
My dad was a renter. Yeah.
My dad was a real renter. And my mom, my poor mom, she can never bring the movies back in time.
2 to 3 films a night. Yeah. Because the late fees really fucked you up if you rented more than one at a time. I'll tell you. I had a late fee on fucking Beetlejuice on VHS that was more than the cost of the VHS at the time.
Yeah, that's how they made their money. People would go I worked for Blockbuster very late in that company's existence, like a year or two before they finally went under. I worked for them, and they had late fees, or not. They had restocking fees.
Yeah,
$1.25.
Yeah,
and they had longer rental fees than they did before. I'm sure there was like some number crunching that was like, the 5-day or 7-day rental period and $1.25 restocking fee, like, we're still making money on that or whatever. I had people like wanting to like fucking fist fight me over $1.25.
I don't doubt it, man.
That if you want to know where I really learned how to be a mean person, it was that job, because like it's like, dude, I make fucking minimum wage. Like, I would ask people, like, I saw you roll up in that Mercedes, man. You ever put more than a quart tank of gas in that? I would say shit to people where the people behind him would be looking at each other like, God damn.
Yeah.
Oh man, the Blockbuster guy's got some spice.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey man, I see you rolled up in that fucking new Charger. With the tires bald. Like, why you give me such a hard time about $1.25?
Why are you stressing me? Yeah.
Dude, I'm like 20.
Right.
Like,
this don't mean shit to me, man. Yeah.
This shit don't mean nothing to me. Everyone thinks I'm a responsible employee. Everyone knows I'm fucking not.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to change. I even wore my finest American Apparel hoodie.
Right.
I have no morals. I have no spiritual system to guide me. They say shoot, I shoot.
Yep. Such is the life of the Blockbuster employee, my man.
I tell you about the time, like I foolishly followed the guy who was stealing from us outside.
Oh no!
And he was like, "Man, you better stop following me." And I just, without a beat, just said, "What are you gonna do? Shoot a guy that works at Blockbuster?" And that, I feel like that man became enlightened. Like he's like, "Dude, I'm really doing something kind of shitty."
Yeah.
It really wasn't that like, I don't give a fuck. It was like one of those things like, you really gonna steal from, like, dude, we're Blockbuster. We're down out. It's like stealing from the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah,
like, really, bro?
Fucking Goodwill. Yeah.
Yeah, like, really?
What are we doing here?
No, I did have one thing. I got to see Get Up Kids because you couldn't go.
I was not able to go.
Because the wife was like, "Oh, you're not podcasting."
I got cucked into not going to Get Up Kids. Yeah.
Yeah, you really missed a great show.
I believe it. Last time I saw them, it was amazing. So
no, they were super good. I was unfortunately tired and old, so I didn't stay as long as I wanted. But fucking Hot Rod Circuit were great, and that's a band I never thought I would like seeing live.
They have a way of surprising you.
Yeah, I was like, because I like revisited some of their music. I'm like, oh god, this really makes me want to yell at someone in a white belt.
Yeah.
And then I saw them live, and I'm like, wow, they're crushing it.
Yeah.
I
feel like they're one of those bands like Bayside where they're so much better live.
Oh, I had such a good time watching Hot Rod Circuit set. Like they were having so much fun because I think they really aren't a band anymore.
Oh, they're coming back for reunions and stuff.
They came back because the Get Up Kids asked them, and like the bass player is like, yeah, I like run my family's appliance repair business now. Like we got like kids and shit, and like it's just really cool that the Get Up Kids asked us to do this, and like you can just tell like they were just beside themselves, enjoying the ability to perform in front of us, and they sounded great. It is weird to see dudes that are like in their 40s singing songs that were obviously written by their no pussy getting ass selves when they were like 19. Well, apparently you got some pussy because you're talking about your kids.
Once.
One time. All it took was one time. Anyways, but Get Up Kids are great because they're touring, and they were touring behind their breakout record, Something to Write Home About, which I think is one of the few records of his era that actually I think is getting better with time.
It is a slamma-jamma.
I revisited it for the first time probably since high school.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I think I like this record way more now than I did 20 when that record was new.
Yeah.
And they killed it. They sounded great. Apparently this tour is going great for them.
Fucking A, good.
Got some cool photos. It was a cool show. Wish I could stay a little later, but what I got to see was great. They sounded awesome. Lights were good. Sounded good. Great show.
Awesome.
Holy shit. Like, it was like, oh wow, that was just like front to back, like no fat.
You kind of have to have that when you're doing a reunion show because, again, a lot of your fans are now old. Yeah. A lot of your fans I need to get home. They
got babysitters.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. The show where you respect that. That's great. As opposed to the fucking. Because every time I've seen Get Up Kids recently, because the last time I saw them was the band I was in was playing Halo Bar after their set, and it was Get Up Kids Descendants
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I got to see 2 amazing sets. Get Up Kids just tore through just a super abbreviated set, which had most of Something to Write Home About, but also they played shit off 4 Minute Mile. I mean, shit from like 1997. Like,
Yeah.
stuff I never thought I'd hear live. But yes, I'm very sad I didn't see them on this run, because my understanding is they played some stuff from that Something to Write Home About album that they haven't played live in probably 2 decades at least.
There's a couple songs where I think they even like, hey, you know, like it's really cool to be touring behind this record, because I know it means a lot to a lot of people, but like there's songs on here that we just don't ever really play. So, you know, hey, 2 thumbs up on that one.
Fucking A. 5 bags of popcorn.
And a white studded belt.
I guess that means that it's time for us to tell people where to find us on the old internet. Brian, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at ishotgydbord, ISHOTGYDBORD. Instagram, a music photographer. If you want to check out my photography portfolio, it's assholemusicphotographer.com. If you want to check out the last and only good media website left in St. Louis, you head over to theartsstl.com. And Jason.
Yes. You can find me a number of places as Videocrime, VIDEOCRIME. Chances are, if there is a Videocrime, that's me. I'm the only one who uses it, because it's an obscure reference to a David Bowie side project called Tin Machine. It was a song off their album. You can also find me as part of a podcast that's not this one, called Submitted for the Approval of the Midnight Pals. There, I play a fictionalized version of horror icon Stephen King. I believe this coming week is going to be the Little Red Riding Hood was just the last episode we released. And it is extremely horny. It is the horniest episode I think we've ever released. The big bad wolf is described in the episode as, and I quote, giving really great oral. So,
Wow.
So do that thing. It is midnight-pals.simplecast.com, or search on your favorite podcast app for Submitted for the Approval of the Midnight Pals, or just Midnight Pals. We're about to have the Interview with a Vampire episode, which is also excruciatingly horny. I think it's our horniest season yet, Brian.
Which
says a lot.
Weird if you did Interview with a Vampire and it wasn't horny.
Exactly right. But you can also do a lot of things to get in touch with this show. My personal favorite is the telephone, 314-246-9766. That's 314-AHOY POO, if you like to spell with your telephone. Shoot us an email, jason@8minutesofdogsbarking.com, or Brian with a Y @8minutesofdogsbarking.com. You can support the show, patreon.com/for8minutesofdogs. There you will find all the special little bonus content like Thanks I Hate It, which is the post-show hangout, Mind Zone, which is where we get real freaky with it, and the punishment tier. We haven't decided what the punishment tier is yet for this year, but if you get in early, your vote will be counted. We'll be putting out a poll, kind of giving you, the punishment tier folks, control over our lives. What is going to be the punishment tier this year? Last year, we watched an excruciatingly long puke fetish video called Garo Monster Home Delivery and commentary track to the whole thing. You can listen to it if you join the punishment tier, patreon.com/for8minutesofdogs. Well, that about does it for the show. I'm Jason. That's Brian. As we always say at this time, namaste, good luck, give mommy a good gut fucking 25th Amendment now. Who ate all the pussy? And eat that motherfucking knife.
Yeah.